Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at a Lovatts cryptic crossword. This is one from the 7th of May. These are fairly straightforward, nice entry-level beginner cryptic crosswords. If you want to play one yourself, there's the link in the description below. So let's get started. So as with all cryptic crossword clues, there's going to be two clues in there in some respect. Often that is going to be a straightforward definition, which will be either at the start or at the end, and then some piece of probably wordplay giving us the answer. So this first one then, somehow Saint Noble is the most dignified, is a good example of that. So the word somehow here is indicating to me that we might be taking the letters of Saint Noble and putting those somehow into a different array to get an answer that means the most dignified. And I think noblest is the answer there. And one reason that Lovatts is a particularly good beginner cryptic crossword is it does give you an indication if your answer was right by showing it in green. I think there's an option to turn that off actually, but for now we'll leave it on. Have little sleep on Kin's serviettes. So it's useful to be able to spot odd phrases and know what a short synonym might be for that. So have little sleep, I'm immediately thinking nap. And then on Kin's, well, Kin's means family, but Kin's is already a short word. Let's just put that in. And that gives us napkins, which does mean serviettes. Oh, sorry, I've just realised. There we go, that's better. We choose to confine noise reverberation. So, again, let's have a look and see if we can find kind of a positional word here. Confine, I'm taking that to mean that within either the words we choose or within noise reverberation, there's going to be a section of that is the word that means the other side of that. And if we look inside we choose, we've already got the E. So we're looking for either echo, meaning noise reverberation, or erev, meaning we choose. I think it's pretty clear which one that is. Somehow, see our first clue, that might be an anagram indicator, rates it, that's 7 letters long, as more delicious. So if something is more delicious, then it is tastier. Drink sodas containing, okay, containing is very similar to what we had on confine. In fact, it's even clearer really. It's very much saying it will contain this. Drink sodas containing writing fluids. Again, we've got our starting letter, so we're either looking at ingf, meaning drink sodas, or we're looking at inks, meaning writing fluids. Asks, can nerds hide office equipment? Can nerds hide? Hide here is again indicating it could be a hidden. Again, we've got the S, but now we've also got the R. So is the answer going to be shidio? No, because there's no R at the end. Is the answer going to be scanner? That's office equipment. That seems good. And it is worth actually just saying, my first thought on this was the word asks could be a homophone indicator. If you ask something, you often say it out loud. So we might have been looking for a word that sounds the same as something. Wasn't the case for this one, but that was my first thought. Head of states leaves insane and mindless. Quite the surface reading of this, it very much gives the idea of, you know, a president that is going crazy, leaving office, which, depending on your point of view, might be quite an attractive proposition for the world right now. So head of state, the head letter of state is S. If we were to have that leave the word insane, we would get inane, which does mean mindless. Type of jazz will die around 9. So around here could be an anagram indicator. I can't see anything with 5 letters. So what about if we put one word around another? So if we're going to put something around the word 9, it's only 5 letters long. 9 is 4 letters to begin with. What if we use a short synonym for 9? I'm thinking IX, meaning the Roman numeral 49. And then we've got 3 letters to put around it. We've got the word die around 9. Let's just do that. And that gives us Dixie, which is a type of jazz. Okay, I've got options now in terms of where to go. It's very tempting to do one of these long ones. Flawless complexion obtained from orchard and dairy. Okay. So a flawless complexion could be, if you have a flawless complexion, then your complexion could be described as being that of peaches and cream. And those are 2 items that you would obtain: 1 peaches from the orchard and 2 from the dairy. So that feels like it works. That gives us a good way into this top right corner. So let's go up there. A short one, like those. Indian native civilizing America to start with. So this is an interesting one actually, because the whole clue is wordplay, but only part of it is definition. So the phrase to start with here, I'm thinking let's take the starting letter of some of these words. We've got a C here, meaning for civilizing. So let's start at the start. The only way to begin is by beginning. Inca, there we go, which is an American native. South American, but American nonetheless. Instructed how Brie was given to eat. How Brie was. Instructed makes me think again it could be a homophone. Brie ways. I'm not seeing that one. I'm also playing around with the idea of Brie was being an anagram, which maybe is a little dodgy in terms of doing that. Well, we've got 2 flashing letters here. First bush on fire is lit on Guy Fawkes Day. I mean, one, like the surface reading of this actually kind of makes you think of, I think, the right answer, but then justifying it is the issue then. So a fire is lit on Guy Fawkes Day, even if it's a bush on fire, would be a bonfire. If we take the first bush, the first letter of bush, then we just take the phrase on fire, we get that there. Okay, so my anagram of Brie was feels a little better there, doesn't it? Got away while Ed paces around. Again, around, anagram indicator maybe. Ed paces is 7 letters. Escaped, meaning got away. Show contempt for what's inside Kellogg's cornflakes. Got the word inside here, so again, let's take a quick look for a word inside Kellogg's cornflakes. That means show contempt, scorn. Igor all upset. Anagram indicator, 7 letters. The big ape. Okay. Gorilla. Nice and straightforward. I've got 2 options here, I think. I'd quite like this long one. But do I get that to get these crossing letters, or do I try and get some of these crossing letters to get that? give it a look and see. Gallic and Polish queens are those who varnish furniture. Feel like the extra letters would help, so let's come back to that. Bet, girl, 7 letters, about, anagram indicator, Sullivan's partner. So this is a reference to Gilbert and Sullivan, I believe. Priest's assistant has a coal light. It's said. Okay, it's said here is, for the first time out of the 3 or 4 I've said it, a homophone indicator. A coal light sounds like acolyte, which is a priest's assistant. Tokyo slogans about Norwegian city. Okay, so Norwegian city, 4 letters ending in O, Oslo. How do we justify that with the wordplay? Tokyo slogans about, you've got about the name for the Norwegian city, you've got some other letters. Is the best that I can pass how we use that in this case. I think, I mean, it's OSLO, it's in there, but it's a little interesting. Honk's horn, that is, for Dustin Hoffman's alter ego. Dustin Hoffman's alter ego, beginning in T, ending in E. I'm thinking Tootsie. It was a film he was in which he played a sort of Mrs. Doubtfire situation. He played a man pretending to be a woman. So if we put in Tootsie, that will be the answer. Honk's horn is toots, that is IE. So IE, just a synonym there. You'd see it written down, but yeah, works. 1,000 grams makes kilo, so we hear. So we hear, homophone indicator. 1,000 grams is a kilogram. We're looking for a 4-letter word ending in O. It sounds like keel low, so we're just going to call it a kilo. Now, the question here is which one of these do we get first to help with the other one? Let's come back to this one, shall we? Gallic and Polish queens are those who varnish furniture. Okay, so Polish is just there. Queens, ER can mean queen. If you're in the UK, you will know that. You'll see it. You would have seen it on post boxes. You would have seen it on stamps. ER, Elizabeth Regina. It means, for many of us, the Queen. So Queens, ERS. Just pluralise it. A little bit dodgy in terms of actual use, but works for this. And then Gallic. It's an old, if you know your asterisks, Gallic is an old word for French. The Gauls were a tribe that lived in modern day France. So what if we go for French polishers? Meaning those who varnish furniture. Get lost. Cats are about, anagram indicator, cats 4 letters. Let's go with scat, meaning get lost. Tom comes up, indeed, but is downgraded. Tom comes up, and this is a down clue. Up will mean flip it around. We've already got the M and the T, so that feels pretty reasonable. Indeed. We're reading that as one word. What if we read that as 2 words and we put the word Tom coming up in the word deed? That would give us demoted, which does mean downgraded. Instructed how brie was given to eat. Okay, so it's not an anagram of brie was, but brie would be fed. Brie was given to eat. So you're fed on brie, which means brief, which gives us briefed, which does mean instructed. Black something. Black tree makers become sellers of contraband. I think, so sellers of contraband, so 1, if the clue says black tree, the answer is unlikely to be black something or other. So let's assume it's sellers of contraband. A seller of contraband could be somebody who sells in the black market. they would be a black marketeer. It feels likely to me like black tree makers is an anagram of black marketeer, which means that become is going to be our anagram indicator. Black marketeers, in fact, plural. Okay, going okay so far? Dad leaves David. Okay, so taking the word David, if we take the word dad out of that, we get VI. And anything like dad leaves, that doesn't feel like it's going to be our definition. So VI to kings and Norse warriors. Or if we add we've already got the K and the N, so we just put kings in there, then we've got Vikings, which does mean Norse warriors. Meat from deer, beginning with V, venison, cooked in ovens. Yeah. So cooked can be an anagram indicator. In ovens is our anagram for that. Does give us venison. N something T something note. Not the first editor to get a memo. Yes. So not is just in there. The first editor, first letter of editor, E, gives us note, meaning memo. Snuggled up in a bird's home. If you're in a bird's home, then you have, it's going to be the word nest somehow, given that it's 7 letters, and given that snuggled is how it is, and is not, given it's snuggled rather than snuggles, I'm going to go with nestled, which is the right answer. Okay, you've got this one down. Herb is a fool. Herb is a fool. There's only so many herbs that are 4 letters long. Now, I'm not sure. I think that a dill could be a fool. And I'm unsure well, let's put it in, because I'm sure enough how many 4-letter herbs are there that end in an L. Okay, it is dill. I'm unsure enough on that word that I am going to say, let's look it up. I could easily believe. Okay, yeah, there it is. It's it's not old English, but it's not modern. It's not modern English. But it is a foolish or silly person or an idiot. So that does meet the definition. That's absolutely fine. And presumably, I could believe that like dilly dally comes from that, like dally around doing foolish things or something like that. Add in sled and got horse ready to ride. So the fact we've got the S and the D makes me think that we're literally taking the word sled and putting the word add in. So there's only really 3 ways that you can do this. You put the add in towards the end and you get sliad with a triple D, doesn't feel right. Put it in a little bit earlier and you get sladded. Again, don't know that as a word. Or you put it in straight away, we get saddled. Add the French to cause confusion. The French. The word the in French, we've got 3 options: le, la, or lay. Let's go with le, just because I think I know the answer. At that point, we can cause confusion by addling someone. So addle to cause confusion, and just putting the word add in there. Okay, now we've saved this one for last. It is a long one, but it does have a lot of crossing letters at this point. Important consignment for bowler, midwife, or postie. Okay, so a postman would deliver a special delivery. A bowler, there we go, 1850. A bowler would each bowl, a bowl of bulls is a delivery. So if he's doing an important one, it might be a special delivery, and a midwife delivers babies. So it's kind of a triple definition. It's kind of a single definition. It's kind of a cryptic definition in that it's only really one answer that can be possible. So we did that in 1850, which is quite quick for talking through all of the clues, but it's not very quick in terms of getting a good time on this. My guess is that we're sort of in the 75th percentile, something like that. So I'd be interested to know if anyone managed to do better obviously before watching me solve it for them. Yeah, if you managed a quicker time, leave it in the comments. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Oh, sorry, actually, no. Let's look at the where we did come. Oh, almost exactly where I thought, the 75th percentile. Yeah, but I'm quite good at guessing how long it will take people. And that is, of course, remembering that, that we'll... this is a self-selected group of people who've solved the crossword, so not too bad. Okay, like I said, thanks very much. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.